this. You're in need of a bit.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Jittymontana. Sorry about that. But today, I'm reacting to a you versus video, and it's you versus Freddy Fazbear. I love the game Five Nights at Freddy's. Now let's see how to beat him.
Cash to pay for your tuition fees, and so you look online to see if there are any part-time jobs going. After a few minutes, you see the post, security guard needed at pizza restaurant, night work only. Perfect. You can do that through the night, and there's a lot of waiting around in that line of work, so you can catch up on your studies while on the job. But only a few minutes into your first shift, you realize you're not alone. A bunch of killer animatronic animal mascots are in that place with you, and they're all there to spoil your night in a big way. The question is, can you survive until your shift ends at 6 a.m.? This is the basic outline of the game Five Nights at Freddy's, a horror-laden survival game which pits the player against 5 characters within the creepy confines of a pizza restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Those terrible animatronics wanting your blood are called Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie the Bunny, Chica the Chicken, Foxy the Pirate, and Golden Freddy. These guys are merely mascots in the day, but they come alive at night, and that's because during the night their motors would seize up if they didn't move. That's fair enough, but why do they want to kill you? After all, aren't they just cute furry mascots? Not really, because if they find you, they will stuff you into a suit. It's a long story, but they're actually looking for revenge. We'll get to that. As we said, if they find you like this, they'll stuff you into a suit, and in the process, you will lose your life. The reason for this is that those suits are not hollow, but filled with wires and all sorts of animatronic bits and pieces. The problem for you as the security guard, besides of course getting stuffed into a suit and killed, is that you only have security camera footage to see what's going on in the restaurant, and that's not very clear at times. It also happens that the cameras don't cover the entire place, which is close to reality. As the night goes on, you get pretty freaked out, learning more about the place you've decided to work. You read an old newspaper clipping which talks about the mass murder of children at the restaurant. This involved a crazy man luring 5 innocent kids there in the past and killing them. The story goes that the man called William Afton, while inside the suit of an animatronic called Spring Bonnie, managed to get these kids into a back room, and that's where he committed the heinous crimes. You also learn about something called the Bite of 87, which involved a malfunctioning mascot biting a part of a person's head and eating some of that person's brain. You learn that the customers of this place have said those animatronics stink like the carcasses of dead people, and that's because those once cute characters are possessed by the kids that were murdered back in the day. The restaurant did close down because of these horrible, smelly, blood-oozing animatronics, but it reopened again later. Suffice to say, you were very, very scared. We have been talking about the actual game, but what if this really happened to you in real life? How would you survive the night, or even take out those demonic animatronics? Well, first of all, you're up against a team, not just Freddy Fazbear. The team consists of Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie the Bunny, Chica the Chicken, Foxy the Pirate, and Golden Freddy. What do we know about the main character, though? The main villain in today's show, Freddy Fazbear. Well, at night, like the other characters, he will free roam around the restaurant. You can't miss him because he's a rather larger bear who wears a top hat and a bow tie and can sometimes be seen with a microphone. He has freckles on his face, big eyebrows, 3-toed feet, and has a rather special physical attribute in that his ears can move backwards and forwards. Maybe lucky for you, he has a set of human-like teeth on his lower jaw, but doesn't seem to have an upper row of teeth. He has a bit of a sinister laugh, and although mascots are supposed to be cute, we should warn you that you don't have a chance of making friends with this guy. If he sees you, he'll try and stuff you into that suit. It's unlikely that if you come across him, you could beat him in a fight. Also, because he's not human, you can't expect to just kill him with a gun or a knife. The thing with Freddy, though, is that during the night, he'll only move in a certain direction. At the start of the night, he'll be on the stage with the other members of his band, and then he'll move from there through various rooms until he reaches the office. In our real-life scenario, you are in that building and don't want to go out and explore, knowing that other mascots are roaming around. As we said before, you can see things moving around in the dark, but it's not always easy. Sometimes the cameras don't work, and sometimes all you can hear are footsteps but not see anything. In the game, Freddy only moves when the player isn't watching him, or when the monitor isn't working. You can take advantage of this by thwarting his movement, basically keeping him at a distance. But in our reality version of this setup, we don't just want to keep him away, we want to defeat him. We can tell you that Freddy is no pushover. His list of skills and powers include having exceptional physical strength. He can also move very fast when he wants to, and is a master of stealth. He's a good tactician, so don't go thinking this is some dumb bear. That's not the case at all. On top of that, he wants vengeance because, as we said, his soul is that of a murdered child. In fact, if you speed up his laugh, it sounds like the voice of a young girl, one of those victims. So we have strength, intelligence, stealth, and a good reason to want to finish you off. Some people also believe that Freddy is a sadistic because he likes nothing more than to taunt the guard. He's going to make your life miserable if you don't kill him. We're not trying to complete the game here. Remember, we want to wipe Freddy out. In the game, there's no way you can kill those animatronics, but this isn't a game now. It's a real-life scenario, and you have an angry, possessed bear on your back. The good news is, we think killing Freddy is very possible, but you'll need to be quite innovative. As we said, he's much stronger and faster than you. You can't fight him hand-to-hand, and you just can't finish him off with a simple weapon. If Freddy was just a normal animatronic, he'd work with a set of mechanical systems inside his body that make him move. He'd also likely be powered by electricity. That's not the case with all animatronics, but modern ones with complex movements are powered that way. In that case, you would think merely by hosing an animatronic down with water, you can make it malfunction. The problem, though, with Freddy is that he's powered by the soul of a dead child. That's a bit different. You can't exactly make him short-circuit. That doesn't mean you cannot destroy the suit that the soul is inhabiting. Without the mascot, the soul has no physical presence and so cannot hurt you. You need to destroy the suit. We don't want to go over the top here and say, just bring a rocket launcher with you. Not many of you guys are friends with people who can lend you one of these. You can, however, buy an agricultural flamethrower online, and it's totally legal to do so. You'd need to be an adult, of course, but we're sure if you're not and you explain that you have to kill a possessed bear before he kills you, then an adult might help you out. Online, we found the XL18 flamethrower, which can fire flames 110 feet. You'll need a few $1,000, but it's your life we're talking about here. These devices are normally used for things such as land clearing, but you'll be using it for bear clearing. You already know more or less where Freddy is because you have the cameras. We know you can't get too close because he's big and fast and stealthy, but that's not going to be a problem with your flamethrower. Just in case, you're going to buy a fire retardant suit too. You don't want to get hurt. When you have Freddy in your sights, you pull the trigger and incinerate him on the spot. The problem now is that while Freddy Fazbear won't look much like a bear anymore, he will still have the animatronic skeleton. But you now have a trick up your sleeve because while you were wearing fire retardant clothes, you were also wearing a powered exoskeleton yourself. The reason we burned Freddy first was to daze him, but also to know exactly what we're fighting. You can see which parts you need to pull apart. Powered exoskeletons, sometimes called powered suits or exoframes, are kind of like an armor that humans can wear that give them more strength. Imagine that scene from the movie Alien, when the alien comes up against a woman wearing one of these things. But this isn't science fiction. You can get your hands on exoframes which can attach to your limbs, and with the use of hydraulics make you very strong indeed. These are still emerging technologies, but we think with enough cash, you could find something that would help you beat Freddy Fazbear. If that's too much for you, you could always try and buy a powerful weapon and just shoot at the joints and other important parts of Freddy's exoskeleton. As we said, buying missiles and bombs is not easy, but guns are not a problem in many areas of the USA. We don't think you'd need anything that special to defeat Freddy Fazbear, but you would need some weapons. He's terrifying and strong, but in the end, is basically just a robot made out of steel and iron. Do you think there are other ways